Hey everyone, welcome to the live Q&A, the first live Q&A of 2023. I hope you all had a great holiday and are starting out the new year well. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. And if you're watching this on a replay, I appreciate you taking the time to view the video. I don't want to keep you any longer than I have to, so we'll go ahead and get started with the first question, and if I have time to answer any questions at the end, I will. Okay. Question number 1. The iPhone keyboard is too small for my eyes and fingers. What can I do? So there's a really easy fix for this. If you come into the settings area and let's go to display and brightness, scroll to the very bottom and you'll see an option that says display zoom. Tap on that and come into this area, and I have mine set for default. But if you choose larger text, all of your icons will become a little bit larger. The text on the keyboard will be a little bit larger for you to view. And so if I tap on done, I'm going to get a prompt that says use zoomed, because what happens is when I tap on that, it's going to restart my phone and the phone's going to go black for a second. But don't panic. All it's doing is restarting your device. It takes just a few seconds, not long, and it doesn't change any of your data. Nothing changes. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on Used Zoom. Now you can't see the screen go dark, but it just went dark on my end, and now it's back up again. So if I swipe out of this area and I come into the text area, you'll see that the keyboard is a little bit larger. So if you're having trouble, this may help you out a little bit. I also want to show you this on the iPad because there is another option available on the iPad. So if I come into the settings on the iPad and I tap on display and brightness and scroll down to where it says display zoom, I have 3 options here. I hope that this is not just an option for the iPad Pro, which is what I'm using. I hope if you have a newer iPad, this shows up on yours as well. And so the middle option is your default option. So then the option to the right, which is more space, will make everything a little bit smaller. So you can get more icons and more things on your home screen. But if you choose larger text, everything will become a little bit bigger like it did on the iPhone. So that's how to increase the text on the keyboard. Question number 2. I'm having trouble with an app not loading properly. Is there anything I can do? So I'm going to come back into my iPhone. Yes. So if I have troubles often with the Weather Channel app where it'll open and then for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a bug or something's just not quite right, it'll immediately shut down. So if that happens, or if there's a glitch in an app that you're using, start at the bottom of your screen and swipe halfway up until you come into the app switcher. Locate the app that you're having trouble with, and I'm just going to pretend that it's Safari. If you just swipe Safari away so that it closes completely and then come back out and restart Safari, then you might find that that fixes the glitches in that app. So if you're having trouble, just come into the app switcher, swipe halfway up the screen, and then just swipe the app away and close it and then reopen. Question number 3. where do I find the print option in Apple Mail? Yeah, this is a little bit strange. When you open up the Mail app, let me come over to it. So here's the Mail app. When I open it, I already have it open to a piece of mail that came across. And if you're looking for the print option here, you're not going to find it. But if you tap on the little arrow down here, you come into the Actions menu. And then if you scroll, you'll see the option for print. Tap on that. And now you should see the printer enabled that you have connected to your Wi-Fi. So this is an AirPrint printer so that you can connect to it over Wi-Fi. You'll notice that the pages along the bottom, you can remove a page by just unchecking it. So if there's certain parts of the email that you don't want to print, you can uncheck those pages. You can also, if you have a duplex printer, toggle on the switch for double-sided. And another option I'm going to share with you is if you come into the media and quality option, you either have the option to set for draft, normal, or best. The only time I ever use best is if I'm going to print a photo. Normally, I'll either use normal, or if it's something that's really not that important but I want to print it out, I'll use draft because that saves you some ink. So you might want to check those features out when you're going to print something. Question number 4. The camera defaults to live photos on. Can I change this? Yes. So if you open up the camera app on your device, you'll see that right now I have live photos toggled off. So if there's a line through it, it's off. And it should stay off every time once you turn it off. It shouldn't come back on. But if I wanted to turn it off so that I could use live photos, if I tap on this, you'll see that an option appears. It says live and lets me know that I'm taking a live photo. But maybe you don't want all of your photos to be live. So you can turn this off and on if you want. There's another option. So let me swipe out of this and come into the Settings app. And I'm going to come back to the main settings page. I'm going to scroll down until I see camera. Tap on camera. And there's an option right here called Preserve Settings. So this is a great option. If I scroll down, I can toggle on the switch that says Live Photo. And basically what happens is it preserves the settings of the last photo I shot. So if I'm inside the camera app and the last photo I shot was live, well, when I swipe out and come back in, it's going to stay live. If I turn live off and I swipe out of the camera app and swipe back in, it should remain off. So it preserves the last setting that you shot a photo in. So go ahead and check that out if you're not always wanting to shoot live and you don't always remember to turn the live feature off. Question number 5. My iPhone screen is too dark to see. I'm having trouble even finding the control center to turn up the brightness. So I know that I'm showing you a lot of these features on my iPhone, Just remember that most of these features are available on your iPad and you access them the exact same way. So you shouldn't have any trouble finding things inside of your iPad. But so I'm going to just swipe down from the upper right corner of my screen to come into the control center, and I'm going to turn my brightness all the way down. And of course, you're not going to see that because this is live and it keeps the brightness on the phone pretty normal when I'm live. But anyhow, on my end, my screen is pretty dark. Here is where you can use Siri to help you out. And I know a lot of people are worried about the security and privacy when it comes to Siri. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that at the end of this live. But for right now, this is what you need to do. You just need to say, "Hey Siri, turn up the brightness on my iPhone."
Okay, I've made the screen brighter.
So Siri immediately turns up the brightness. If I say, "Hey Siri, turn up the brightness on my iPhone again,"
Okay, I've made the screen brighter.
Siri will turn it up. This is a great feature. Siri is really awesome. I'm going to tap on my screen to turn Siri off. Let me show you what you should have set up in settings if you want to use Siri properly. So I'm going to come into the settings app. I'm going to go back to the main settings page. So when it says settings at the top, I'm on the main settings page. Now I'm going to locate Siri and search. I'm going to tap on that. And these toggle switches, if you want to use, if you want to toggle on listen for Hey Siri if you don't want to touch any buttons. And you can see immediately Siri picks that up. If you want to use a button, toggle on the switch for the side button, which is your power button as well. And you can push on the side button and Siri will pop up. And then you can also toggle on the switch to allow Siri when locked. If you're worried about security, you could turn this feature off. You don't necessarily need it. But I really like listen for Hey Siri, and I also like the side button for Siri. So it's a really easy way to access some of your settings. Question number 6. What is the easiest way to restart my iPhone or iPad if I'm having issues? Again, Siri is your best option. So let's just say you're having trouble with your phone. Maybe you have some glitches. Maybe it's just running slower than you think it should. Well, then that's a good time to just restart your phone so that it clears out any junk or whatever and it restarts and it might solve your problem that you're having. And to do that, if I just say, "Hey Siri, restart my iPhone."
Just to confirm, you want to restart this device.
And then all you would have to do is tap on restart and Siri will go ahead and restart your device. I'm going to tap on my screen to get rid of that. Prior to Siri being able to do that, because I think this only became available in iOS 16, there was another way you could do this. So I'm in the settings app. I'm going to tap on back to the main settings screen. I'm going to tap on general. I'm going to scroll to the bottom and you have the option to shut down. So you could shut down your phone and then push the power button to restart it. And then your other option, which people found really difficult to do, and I'm guessing that's why Apple added it to Siri to restart your phone, you had to, in quick succession, you had to push the volume up button, push the volume down button, and then push and hold the side button until the Apple logo appeared. And then you let go of the side button. Now, all you have to do is say, "Hey Siri, restart my iPhone."
Just to confirm, you want to restart this device.
And that's how easy it is to restart your iPhone. Question number 7. Face ID doesn't always recognize my face. Is there anything I can do? Yes. So sometimes we don't get Face ID set up correctly. And so if you come into the settings area, make sure you're on the main settings page. Scroll down until you see Face ID and passcode. If you have a passcode set up, put it in. There's a couple of things here. So if you're a man and you have a beard at certain times of the year, you could set up an alternate appearance. If you wear a baseball hat, you could set up an alternate appearance, or glasses, or things similar to that. You could also, if you have Face ID with a mask toggled on, turn it off. Unless you're wearing a mask, it may confuse Face ID. So that's one of the things that I would tell you to do, is turn off Face ID with a mask. You could also reset your Face ID. Do it again. If it's not working properly, take the time and do it again. And then the last thing you can try is toggle off require attention for Face ID. So with that toggle switch on, your iPhone is looking for you to be looking directly into the camera. And so if you haven't got Face ID right when you did it the first time, and you're struggling to get it to work, toggle that switch off, because that way, if you're just slightly off center, your Face ID still should recognize your face. So go ahead and toggle off require attention for Face ID and see if that helps you out. Question number 8. My iPhone is taking random screenshots. What could be the problem? So I've been asked this a couple of times now, and I think usually it's because of a setting that you have enabled in the settings area, and it usually has something to do with back tap. So if you come into the settings app and you tap on accessibility, and now you tap on touch, if you scroll to the very bottom, you'll see back tap. If I tap on back tap, right now you'll see that I have double tap to nothing, because sometimes I actually have the same thing happen, that a double tap will trigger. Like if I set my phone down on a table and the phone bounces just slightly, that is sometimes enough to trigger back tap on your device. And if you're not familiar with back tap, what it is if you set this up, if you have a newer iPhone, and I think it's around iPhone 10 or newer, if you double tap on the back of your phone, you can perform different actions. One of my favorite actions is the magnifier. So if I triple tap on the back of my phone, the magnifier app opens. And so it's great to use if you're somewhere in a restaurant maybe, and you need to look at a menu and the text is a little small. You can use the magnifier, or it's dark. The other thing I like it for is like on a box looking at a serial number that's so small that you can't really see it. I can just triple tap on the back of my phone and it opens the magnifier app. But double tap sometimes is triggered when I set my iPhone on a table, just because it bounces a little bit. So if you have back tap set up and you have it set up to take a screenshot, you may want to come in and just uncheck that. Or sorry, I don't think you have to come up and tap none. So if you just tap none and then come back up. I would set it up in triple tap because triple tap doesn't seem to have those issues. So I hope that helps if you're having screenshots when you double tap or set your phone on, if you have screenshots taken. Question number 9. I struggle to use the iPhone one-handed. You are not alone. I cannot use my iPhone one-handed at all. I always use my iPhone two-handed, but there is a feature that can help with that. So let me tap on touch in the upper left corner. I'm going to tap on back. I'm going to tap back again and come into the main settings area. Tap on accessibility, tap on touch, and toggle on reachability. Once I've toggled that on, if I take my thumb down here right by, or finger, it doesn't matter, right down here by this little black bar, and I just kind of pull down on the screen, you'll see that it brings the screen closer to your hand. And so that may help somebody who is having a hard time using their iPhone one-handed. And it works on it works anywhere. So if I'm on the home screen and I just go to the bottom of the dock and pull down, you'll see that it brings it down closer to my hand, and it goes back up on its own. You don't even have to touch it. It'll go up on its own, or you can just grab the little gray bar at the top and just pull it back up or tap it, and I think maybe it's not going to do that. I thought it would work that way, but it is not. So it will go up on its own, or when you pull it back down, then you're able to just tap into whatever it is that you need to get to. Question number 10. New feature in Maps to help you find your car. Yes. So there's this great new feature. If you have your car or your phone connected to either Bluetooth in your car or you have Apple CarPlay, there's a new feature that you can set up. So where you find that feature is you come into the Settings app. Let's tap on back and get back to the main settings page. Scroll down until you see Maps. Tap on Maps. Scroll to the bottom and toggle on the switch that says Show Parked Location. Because what this will do in the Maps area is give you walking directions to your car. So if you're having trouble finding your car in a big parking lot or whatever, if you turn this feature on, you should be able to locate the car. If I come into the Maps app, you're not going to see it because I am at home, and so it's not going to show it. But I took a screenshot so that you could see it. So let me tap on that. And this, let me bring it up full screen. So when you're in the Maps app, this is what it would look like. It would be right underneath Siri suggestions, and it tells me my car is 20 feet away near Meadowlark Drive. And if I tapped on that inside the Maps app, it would give me walking directions to my car. So that's a great new feature in iOS 16. Question number 11. Notes keep opening in slide over. What can I do? So let me come into the iPad and bring up my notes. So right now it doesn't look like my notes are in slide over, but if I reach over and slide from the right side of the screen in, you'll see that there's a slide over window of Google Chrome open. And so if every time you open Notes up, that's happening to you, couple of ways that you can get rid of it. You can tap on the three dots at the top of the slide over screen. Just tap here and then tap close, and that will close that screen. If you're having trouble because you come in and the screen is in split view, so instead of looking like this, which is slide over, if I pull this down and bring it over and drop it, now I'm in split view. And if you have your notes in split view and you close them, if I tap on the Notes app, it should come right back to that view. And again, the easiest way to get rid of it is you can just tap here and hit close. Your other option is there's this little gray bar right here in the middle of the screen. If I tap it and hold it and drag all the way over, now split view is gone. So if I swipe, I've removed whoops, sorry. Let me grab this. Whoa. So slide over looks like this. And you can swipe it away, but it still remains. So just tap on it, tap close, and it's gone. And if you're not familiar with slide over and split view, I think I have a video on the YouTube channel about that. You can take a look. They're really great features if you want to drag and drop things between Notes or between Chrome and your Notes app. So if you haven't used split view or slide over, you should give them both a try. But that's how to get rid of those windows, is to just use the three dots at the top of the screen. And so the last thing I wanted to talk about was Siri, because a lot of people are so afraid of using Siri because of privacy concerns. But just know that starting in iOS 15, speech processing and personalization are done on your device, which makes Siri faster at processing your requests, but also more secure. So most audio requests made of Siri are kept entirely on the iPhone and are no longer uploaded to Apple servers for processing. So on-device speech, processing and personalization is available on phones and iPads that have an A12 Bionic chip. And some of the things that you can do are things like you can tell Siri to create or disable timers, alarms. You can launch apps, control audio playback, and access setting options. Apple says Siri can also process messaging and sharing phone requests. So Siri doesn't send your information back to Apple with anything that's on the device. Now, some things that you search for and request that type of data does get sent back to Apple. But these are not associated with your identity, so it keeps your personal information safe. And Apple does not sell your data to advertisers or other organizations. And end-to-end encryption is used for all syncing between your devices and iCloud. So, if you don't want Apple to use your Siri recordings for improving Siri's performance, you can fix that. So, let's come back to the iPhone and come back into the Settings app. Go back to the main settings page. Now locate Privacy and Security. Tap on that. Scroll down until you see Analytics and Improvements. Tap on that. scroll down until you see Improve Siri and Dictation and toggle that switch off. And that way, your recordings are not being sent back to Apple, even if they are protecting you. You can just toggle that switch off and your data won't be sent to them. So I hope that gives you a better understanding of Siri, because Siri is so useful. And I hate to think that most people aren't using it because they're so concerned about their data and security. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. If anybody has any questions, you can type them in now. But if not, I appreciate you taking your time and taking the time to be here. I know it's taking some time out of your whatever you're doing today, and I appreciate it. So I don't see any questions. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.